Professor Zixer's antenna twitched nervously as he reviewed the day's curriculum on his holographic display. Xenobiology 301 was his favorite course to teach at the Galactic Consortium University. But today's lesson filled him with apprehension. The students were required to present a predator species from their home world, demonstrating the ecological balance between hunter and prey. Most species had already presented. The Valorans brought holographic recordings of their cliff-dwelling ambush hunters. The Threen displayed preserved specimens of their oceanic pursuit predators, safely contained in stasis fields. Even the normally timid Plexians managed to show neural scans of their world's pack hunters, though they refused to be in the same room as the actual creatures. Then there was the human. Sarah Chen had enrolled 3 cycles ago, the first human to attend the university since Earth's recent admission to the consortium. She sat in the back row, her peculiar forward-facing eyes gleaming with what Zixer had learned to recognize as amusement. When he announced the assignment 2 rotations prior, she had smiled in that unsettling way humans did, showing her omnivorous teeth. "Professor," she had said, "I'll need permission to bring living specimens to class." Every student in the amphitheater had frozen. The 3 representatives had actually fainted. "That is highly irregular, Miss Chen," Zixer had stammered. "The safety protocols." "I'll take full responsibility," she assured him. "They'll be completely under my control. Trust me." Trust. Such a human concept. Nevertheless, he had granted permission, though he'd spent the last 2 rotations filing incident reports and updating his insurance policies. Now, as the chronometer indicated Sarah's presentation time, Zixer's 3 hearts beat an anxious rhythm. The door to the amphitheater slid open, and audible gasps rippled through the assembled students. Sarah Chen walked in, and on each of her shoulders sat a predator. Zixer accessed his neural implant, rapidly scanning Earth's database. Canis lupus familiaris, domesticated wolf descendants, apex pack hunters, bite force of 320 pounds per square inch, descended from animals that once hunted megafauna across frozen wastelands. The creatures were small juveniles, perhaps, but their nature was unmistakable. Sharp teeth were visible in their slightly open mouths. Claws clicked against Sarah's protective clothing, and their eyes tracked every movement in the room with predatory focus. "Everyone, meet Thor and Loki," Sarah announced cheerfully, apparently oblivious to the fear radiating from her classmates. The 8-week-old German Shepherd puppies looked around curiously. One of the creatures, Thor perhaps, yawned, displaying a pink tongue and needle-sharp teeth. A Valoran student squeaked and dove under their desk. "The assignment was to present a predator species from our home world and explain their role in the ecosystem," Sarah continued, gently lifting both animals and cradling them against her chest. The creatures immediately began wiggling, their tails creating a blur of motion. Wolves and their domestic descendants, dogs, are one of humanity's most successful predator species. She walked down the stairs toward the presentation platform, and Zixer noticed something peculiar. Despite being carried by a potential prey species, the predators showed no signs of aggression. Instead, one of them was licking Sarah's face while the other gnawed contentedly on her finger. "Wolves are pack hunters with complex social structures," Sarah explained, setting the puppies on the floor. They immediately tumbled over each other, playing. They can coordinate hunts across vast distances, take down prey many times their size, and survive in some of the harshest environments on Earth. "Then why?" a brave Threen student called out. "Are you allowing them to attack you?" Sarah laughed, that peculiar human sound that could mean joy, nervousness, or impending violence, depending on context. "Attack me? They're playing. Watch." She produced a small object from her pocket and threw it across the amphitheater. Both puppies immediately gave chase, their small legs scrambling for purchase on the smooth floor. They crashed into each other, tumbled, recovered, and continued their pursuit with single-minded determination. "This is their prey drive," Sarah explained. "The instinct to chase, catch, and kill. In adult wolves, this instinct brings down elk and bison. In puppies, it's directed at toys and each other." One puppy, Loki, had claimed the toy and was now engaged in a mock battle with Thor, both growling and tugging. The sounds made several students retreat further. But here's what makes the human-canine relationship special, Sarah continued. 30,000 years ago, wolves began living alongside humans. Not as prey or predator, but as partners. We domesticated them, yes, but they also domesticated us. We evolved together. She whistled sharply. Both puppies immediately abandoned their game and ran to her, sitting attentively at her feet. Their tongues lolled out in what Earth's database called a smile. Humans are persistence hunters, Sarah said, scratching both puppies behind their ears. We can't outrun prey, but we can outlast them. Wolves hunt in coordinated packs. Together, we became more efficient hunters than either species alone. We shared our kills. We protected each other's young. We became family. Zixer found himself leaning forward, fascinated despite his fear. But these are apex predators. How did your species coexist? Sarah's expression softened. Because humans have a weird quirk, Professor. We look at predators, creatures that could kill us, and we think, I want to be friends with that. We've domesticated wolves, cats, foxes, ferrets. We keep venomous snakes as companions. We swim with sharks for recreation. We rescue bear cubs and raise them. It's not logical, but it's deeply human. She picked up both puppies again, holding them like infants. They relaxed completely in her arms, utterly trusting. These two will grow into 70-pound predators with the instincts and abilities of wolves. They'll be strong enough to knock me down, fast enough to catch most prey animals, and their bite will be powerful enough to break bones. Sarah kissed the top of Thor's head. And I will trust them completely because 30,000 years of partnership has taught us both that we're better together than apart. But what if they attack? A Piscian student whispered. They won't, Sarah said simply, because I'll train them, care for them, and love them. In return, they'll protect my family, work alongside us, and love us back. That's the deal humans made with wolves, and it's a deal we've honored for 300 centuries. Loki had fallen asleep in her arms, snoring softly. Thor was chewing on Sarah's thumb, his tail wagging. Humans don't just study predators, Sarah concluded. We live with them. We make them part of our families. We look at the most dangerous creatures on our planet and see potential friends. It's foolish, maybe, but it's also why Earth has so many domestic species. We don't fear the predator in the other. We recognize the predator in ourselves and offer kinship instead. The amphitheater was silent for a long moment. Then, hesitantly, a Valoran student raised a manipulator appendage. May I touch one? Sarah's face split into a brilliant smile. Of course, they love meeting new people. As the class tentatively gathered around to meet the predators, who responded to attention with enthusiastic tail wags and attempts to lick everyone, Professor Zixer updated his notes on human psychology. Humanity does not conquer predators through strength or technology, but through an inexplicable ability to form bonds with the deadliest creatures on their planet. This may explain their rapid adaptation to consortium society. They see potential allies everywhere, even in those who should be enemies. Thor had somehow climbed onto a Threen student's head and was happily perched there like a fuzzy predatory hat. The Threen was trembling, but also smiling. Zixer added one final note. Humans are perhaps the most dangerous predator of all, not because of their hunting ability, but because they can turn other predators into friends. We should be very grateful they prefer cooperation to conquest. In the back of the amphitheater, Sarah Chen watched her classmates fall in love with her puppies and smiled. Making friends had always been humanity's greatest talent.